Shalom. It's falling on shore. Welcome to the rock. It's warm. Praise Yah. Got a story. Actually, a testimony. From a brother. He sent me his testimony. He's in the Buffalo area of New York right now. And he wanted to tell, first of all, he wanted to say thank you to the channel and to all of you who post in the channel, who post ideas and preparedness ideas. He said because he truly believes that those are the things that actually help save him and his family. Well, his testimony, I don't want to make it too long, but was he's in the Buffalo area, he's experiencing the freeze and everything else. But his situation was a water issue. He lives in an apartment with his family and didn't really ever get into preparedness, he saw it as kind of a fringe thing, and he said he didn't see very many men of color, black men, do it, so he never really got into it, and subscribed to the channel and saw a man talking about preparedness and living off grid and homesteading, and piqued his interest and his family's interest. And then he started to see the comments that many of you would put in, and he started to adapt those things, like storing food, putting food back, putting water. He really got into it. He's really into it now. But his story is he had water, and the water pipes burst, and in the apartment complex that he's in, he said that they turned off the gas. So he had no water and he had no gas, and no natural gas in his place. Couldn't drive anywhere, but he had food and he had water. The problem with a lot of his water was stored on his balcony. He had a decent sized balcony and then a little closet on his balcony, and he stored a lot of his water in there. Well, his water froze hard. Froze rock solid. And then with the fact that the power had gone out in the area, he said he was extremely cold. Now he thought about lighting a fire on his patio. He has a grill there, but with the winds blowing the way they were and with the snow, he was afraid of embers and not being able to control the fire once he got it started. So they still had electricity, so he had the little buddy burner or buddy heaters, so they were able to still stay warm. They went into one room and stayed warm that way. A lot of people suffered. There over, last time I checked, over 30 people dead, and many people suffered because they just couldn't keep warm, even in their place. So they were able to be warm, but they had the water outside, and then the water, literally, he said that his balcony was covered under probably a foot of snow. So his balcony was kind of off limits. And he was wondering what he was going to do for water, because obviously the water's off. But he had prepared. He had, I think he said over 50 gallons of water in his house. That was just gallon bottles, not including the cases of bottled water that he had in his house. He stored it everywhere, he said. He stored some behind his television, the entertainment unit. He stored some cases of water underneath his couch. He had stored underneath his bed, in the back of his closets. Basically anywhere he had a space that's to store some water, to store some food, he did. So they had food, chunky Campbell soup. He had a little electric hot plate also. Or was it a hot plate? Stovetop is electric. So he was able to cook food. He was able to warm water up. Those little 5-gallon bottles, it's hard to get those things thawed out. But he had plenty of water in his residence. He had top ramen, and they had noodles, and they had spaghetti, and they had spaghetti noodles with chunky Campbell soup on top of the noodles. Sounds actually very good, actually. Some of that beef ravioli, in the can. So they had food, but their problem was water, and he had water. He had food, and he had water. And they were able to say, warm milk. It's going pretty hard right now. It's a beautiful thing to know that there are and were things that he was able to do for the preservation of his home and the preservation of his family. And I really believe it's something that we have to have set in our minds. Take this story, take what we're seeing in Buffalo, New York, and use this as a learning tool. Use this as a lesson of what could happen at any given time. We always think that it can't happen to us. We always think it won't happen to us. We always think that happened somewhere else, but it happened to him. And this is his testimony, his story of how he made it. And he's still stuck in his house. You know, you looked on the news and there were people running around looting stores, clearing store shelves of food, clearing store shelves of water. Now imagine you're in a situation where things like this happen and you don't have to worry a bit because you have prepared, your family is set, you are set, there's no worry. This is really where we should be. Really where we should be. We should not be running around like chickens with our heads cut off because weather changes or society is getting worse. It should not affect us the way it affects everybody else. We should be able to maintain and get through these times because of our preparations, of our self-preservation, of our obedience to the Bible, foreseeing the evil, being the prudent man, foreseeing the evil, and hiding ourselves from said evil. And just think for, what? Yeah, I know he says a lot of the bottles that he had were like juice bottles that he would just fill up with water and then store back. So he bought some cases of water. So for less than $20-30, this man was able to drink water, was able to bathe. For less than $100-200, this man had food. So while other people right now are trying to find ways to get food, he is comfortable in his apartment with food, with water, has all the warm, has all the things that he needs to take care of his family. And we have to be in that place ourselves. That should not be some one-off feel-good story. This should be a lifestyle where we are prepared and ready for things like that to take place. The day after tomorrow storm to take place. And where we aren't suffering with everybody else. If you are the person who listens to this channel, you should not be in a place of suffering right now. You should be in a place where you are content, where you are happy, where you are warm, where you have food, where you have water, where you are not worried about that. Sad fact is, so many of us honestly watch videos like this as a form of entertainment, knowing that we're never going to make the changes that are necessary for us to actually put ourselves in a position where we're not going to be one of those people running into the Dollar Tree. Or like you see before every heavy winter storm or hurricane, everyone wants to run out and get stuff. You should have those things now. You should have those things right now. We'll be doing more videos of things. I have the video of the things I keep in my vehicle, or one of the things I keep that's really important in my vehicle. But I also have some generator videos because having a generator, now, and obviously in an apartment, a gas generator is not going to help you. But if you run out of power and you have a solar generator, you can put the panels on your porch and just keep your solar generator topped off so that you can use it. Obviously, if you're facing the sun. But you know what I mean. There are things that we can do to preserve ourselves from things like this storm and things that are worse that are coming. I don't think that this storm's a one-off thing. I think that we're going to continue to have changes in weather, changes in, society, the economy, and it would just behoove you right now to really take a time, sit down with your family and ask yourself, could we take out, 5 or 10%? Instead of giving that 10% to your pastor at church, Why don't you take that 10% and put it away for the preservation of your household? Take that 10% and put it in food storage. Take that 10% and put it in, get yourself a firearm. Get some training. Take that 10% and get some water. Take that 10% and make sure your family has cool weather clothing and warm weather clothing. Take that 10% and make sure you have things to start fires. Take that 10% and invest into yourself. Maybe it's a crazy idea. Maybe it is. But I don't think it sounds too crazy to those people right now that are suffering, or that lost their lives because they were trying to run out to get stuff in the last minute. Bless you. Something to think about. Shalom.